Hi, Heather here from Creative Kiwi. Can Koozies don't have to be boring. If you're anything like me, you probably have a stash of beautiful fabrics that you've been saving for something special. Well, this is it. These in the hoop Can Koozies are fun, quick project that's perfect for showing off your favourite prints, even those licensed fabrics you've been waiting to use. They're fantastic for gifts. Make one in your friend's favourite colours, create seasonal versions for Christmas, Halloween, or stitch a whole set for parties and family get-togethers. The entire project is made completely in the hoop with no additional sewing. To make the handmade gift even more special, and I found this out by mistake, pop your Can Koozies into our reusable gift box as a holder. Then you've got a complete gift. We stitched the designs on 2 layers of water-soluble stabiliser, and I pin at the edge, and I've used Insel Bright as the batting. You could just use your normal batting. The first step is just part 1, or the front, and we stitch the design placement line onto the stabiliser. Then we add our Insel Bright, or our batting, and attach. This will stitch around twice just to give a nice cutting edge. We cut away our excess batting, Insel Bright, and you'll see that there's gaps at the edges there. This is just to keep the batting out of the seams. Now you can obviously use fabrics to make these really pretty, or you can add your own funny sayings, whatever you prefer. So here we go, we're just adding our front fabric. Possibly should have taped that down, it may have been easier. And we're just attaching it and quilting just a simple line quilt on the batting. And as I say, you could just leave it like this. You could just put your quilting on and then add someone's name, a funny saying, whatever you like. This one I'm just going to show with the pretty monogram on it to make a pretty cozy for a friend. So it just stitches the placement line for the applique patch. We add our fabric. And then we just stitch the initial, and the full alphabet is included in the design set. Or you could add your own initial if you didn't like the font. You want to put someone's name instead. So we're just cutting away that excess patch fabric. And then we're just back into the hoop, back in to stitch around the frame. I think I just used white, so it zigzags around the patch, and then it will do the satin stitch and the decorative, the little stitch on top. So I guess this is quite a girly design, really just to make something for your friends. You could use it for parties and things like that. Just something a little bit more elegant than the general neoprene designs. Now we're just going to add our lining. I'm just floating it under the hoop. It's just basically to make it look pretty on the inside. And we're just going to attach that lining. Now we're just going to cut away all the excess fabric on the front and the back. As you can see, having the lining on it, you won't see any of that embroidery on the back. And yes, that's my cat helping me, Percy. Then we're off to the machine, and you want to put matching bobbin thread in the bobbin, and it's just going to do a zigzag around the whole design and do that decorative satin stitch. And that's the front made. You just cut away the stabiliser close to the satin stitch edge. And on the raw edge at the very bottom, we just take a bit more time and cut as close as we can, because that's the one that we're going to join. Then we're on to part 2. So while it's made in 2 hoopings, it's really quick, and it gives you the ability to put words on both sides. So same as before, placement line on the stabiliser, then add your batting. Like magic, we've cut away our excess batting. Now this one, I'm not going to put anything on the back, so I'm actually placing my backing fabric under the hoop now, just saves a step later. And you can see that the fabric's fine under the hoop. And then we've got my front fabric, or main fabric, and we're just going to attach that. So you want to have the colour for the quilting you want to have in your machine at this point, and it will just attach the fabric and just do that quilting. As I say, this one I'm just leaving plain. So basically all we have to do now is just cut away that excess fabric on the front and back, which I've done. And then we're going to do the zigzag before the join. So we're just going to do a zigzag, but it leaves a gap where we're going to join the first piece, the front piece. Okay, so we're just going to match or put our first piece on, and it's going to be, make sure you've got the right side facing upwards, and you're matching the stitch lines, plus you've got that quilting there. So you just can match up. So you've got stitch line on stitch line, and that the centre quilting is in line with your bottom piece. So it's pretty easy to get it accurately in place, and then we're just off to the machine to do the zigzag that joins. Make sure that it does cover both pieces, and then you're just off to do the final zigzag. So they are pretty quick to make. And as I say, doing it in the two hoopings means there's no sewing later, but you can have writing on both sides. And here's the fun bit. So you're just going to fold the piece up and place it on top. And we're just going to zigzag those sides. Now it does stitch a little bit to the right, so it looks like it's a little bit over onto the stabilizer. This is correct. That's the way it should do. And we do the right side first, and then you want to redo that side. Just make sure it's all fitting in a line. And we're going to do another zigzag down the side. And there you go. It's all done on the embroidery machine. Now we're just obviously going to cut away that stabilizer. Now with the sides, you kind of pull them, gently ease them apart, and just sort of fold down that finger press along that side. And that opens up the side to make it flat, for want of a better word. And you just, pull it open and make it flat. Then you can just turn to the right side. Now, I do show on this where I'm just using a Q-tip just to remove the stabilizer from the edges. Now, you will want to soak these properly because you don't want any, when it gets moisture near it, they'll go funny. So definitely pop them in the wash, or at least soak them to make sure you get rid of all of the water-soluble stabilizer. I just did this so you can see how good they look. And I just pop them in the washing machine. And there we go. You've got an elegant Can Koozie. So there's one I just did for my hubby Terry in a fake leather. But there you go. They fit the normal size cans. And I know I'm going to have a lot of fun making them for gifts, especially for my girlfriends. I see lots of Can Koozies that are just plain old neoprene. Well, this you can use the favourite fabrics and make them a little bit pretty. And as I say, you can use the reusable gift box as a holder and pop them all in. So I hope you have as much fun with them as I have making them. Thanks for watching.